Back again. It's been a very interesting week. There's been a lot of changes and releases. And so today, what I wanted to work on is what part of ourselves is tied into other people's beliefs of receiving, or that greatness, joy, and happiness can only come one way. And so let's remove and release that. Yes. And also, we carry a lot of beliefs that if we get what we want, we're going to end up alone. There'll be no one around that's similar to us. And that it's too hard a path, because then you're affected by other people's reactions to you succeeding. So how about we remove and release the belief that we have to navigate and not offend other people, and that we are like, really doesn't matter what they think of you. Hello, Rose. Good morning. It's like, you don't need to, they should have no priority in your own belief system. Like, yes, relationships are extremely important, but their priority should not override yours. So remove and release that. Yes. It's like, when I say about like other people's opinions and belief systems should not take yours out, should not be like overdrafted on top of you, should not be, if it is not in your innate nature to believe that, then, how many people have moved in a direction to succeed, but have been pulled back because it's not so much not what everyone else does, but it's like they know that they won't be accepted amongst other people. So they are very cautious or very slow about going where they need to go. When in fact, the effect of it is that when they stand in their power, when they stand in their beliefs and they let their light shine, it creates a greater effect. So how many times have we dimmed our light so that other few people in our lives can relate to us or feel important, or that their importance is more important than our own light? Like, anywheres we have diffused our light to allow the people into our lives, because either through past lives or this lifetime, we've learned that they will not tolerate or accept any changes that would be in the highest, best good of everyone. So remove and release that. Yes. What I noticed this week was that there's a lot of people still wrapped up in the trauma and dramas around them, because it creates a common bond with other people. But really, is that important that you're willing to give yourself up for? So remove and release that. Yes. I mean, there's lots of wonderful, positive energies out there. And it's like, how about we try and focus on that energy, as opposed to the bombardment of fear that is constantly being forced upon us. So remove and release where that somewhere in this lifetime or past lifetimes or time and space, you've decided that the fear mongering is more important than the light, than your being, than the love of yourself. Remove and release that. Yes. There was a lot of activity the other day, and I was going to get on and speak about it, but sometimes I'm a little bit cautious about it because of my own experiences, and it's like it's really difficult. I still struggle with stuff too. Like I'm by no means perfect, but it's like I'm trying. Like, I'm trying to keep moving forward, trying to, like, when I see something that's blocking me, I'm trying to clear it. I'm trying to, like, move past it. And throughout my lifetime, the stuff that I've moved past, I've received such great rewards. Like, my gifts and my abilities have expanded, and have gotten more powerful and have changed and grown. And it's like, so sometimes I think that not only are we in alignment with our physical, like the physical being who we are, but our spiritual being is just as powerful as the physical. But because throughout time we've been taught many programs and methods to make us smaller. Like, we've been taught how to shut parts of our spirituality, parts of our spirit, our soul, and our being down. So remove and release in the highest and best good, and as softly, as gently as possible, all aspects of yourself that you are still separated from. You've been taught to shut them down, and continue to use those programs to shut them down. Yes. And sometimes too, what happens is, because, like, there's certain things that make us shine attracted to it. So some of us are able to persevere and keep going no matter what goes on around them. But when you're in a situation where there's other people dependent on you, sometimes there's the one becomes more dominant than the other, and it's like, I got thinking about this the other day. It's like, we have this, there, like, throughout my lifetime, there's been a lot of women that have wanted to take Reiki and wanted to take courses, but it was a real battle for them to get to it because their partner was not supportive of them, or the children were too young, which is, that is a lot. I mean, that is a lot of energy, right? So, and it's almost like, I looked at it from a perspective of, if they can take the family money and do whatever they want with it, why as women do we not allow ourselves to do that? So remove and release the limitations that you're not even aware of, that you have in yourself, that doesn't allow you, like, you're just as important as anyone else in that relationship and in the family structure. And maybe what you're offering will make a lot more things easier for everyone. But because of the struggle that you face, sometimes we give in and we don't do it, and then we lose a part of ourselves. So all the parts of us that have been left behind and have not been accepted, because there's too many stipulations for us to accept them, and too many contracts and agreements that if we accept them, then we feel that we have to release it. So our lives never get to be in balance. So remove and release all aspects of ourselves that believe that we have to stay separated in order to create a harmonious relationship, a partnership, or existing. But in reality, it's just pieces of yourself that are disappearing. So remove and release that. Yes. Because there's a lot of people out there that sometimes it's like they tend to move forward, but they are very cautious, which is, completely acceptable. But it's the imbalances that creates, I feel like, I noticed this week there's been a lot of, like, you can feel the heaviness of depression and anxiety and stress in universe. And what if you were allowed to, like, for example, there's some people in the area I live that are extremely talented, but they may not have had the opportunity to be well known or to move beyond it because of other obligations. So was it other obligations, or there was no support for them? So remove and release, the difference, we believe that something is an obligation instead of realizing that it's that we're not supported, and that why we define ourselves through these obligations and support systems instead of realizing what we have to offer is going to change and make everything easier. But because of the obligations and no support, it's almost like um, we put barriers up so we keep ourselves down. So remove and release that. Yes. I've been really busy with a course that I'm taking, so I haven't been on TikTok and Instagram at all. And I apologize for that. It's just that I'm trying to accomplish something completely different, and it does take up a bit of my time. But it's like, and I'm really impressed because I'm still getting followers on TikTok, and I haven't posted a video lately. So today I'm gonna try my best to get one posted. And so thank you very much, everyone, for listening and being part of this. So remove and release the parts of ourselves that we don't recognize and see what we've accomplished instead of what we haven't accomplished. Why we are focusing in and being tuned in to what we haven't achieved instead of highlighting what we have achieved. Yes. There's so many gifted and talented people there. Like, and it's like, so when you were little, what were some of the things that, what did you want to be? What were you aspiring to? What did you see around it? Mine was always entertainment. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be an actor. And I wanted to do all these like wonderful things because it's like it brought so much light to me. But I felt that it brought a lot of light to the world because your gifts and your talents can create such a change in people. Look at Taylor Swift, like what she's doing. It's like, oh my God, it's just amazing. And it's like people have these memories of going to these concerts and all the experiences that they've, some of the greatest movies around. You remember them, and it's like, so I wanted to be a part of that. And did that bring a lot of judgments and negative that I've spent decades trying to clear. And wow, it's really horrible what people say to you. And so I just wanted to remove and release all those chains, all those ropes, all those poisonous arrows, and all those doubters. And being young, you're very impressionable. And it's pretty horrid what people say to you. And because it's their fears and their limitations. But when you're in that age, you don't realize it. So remove and release all these anchors that we have in us that are, it's almost like they are anchored in there. So we automatically are set to fail. We're automatically set not to achieve what we want to do. And it's almost like their doubts, their fears, their judgments. And people like to give their opinion. And it's like that have like created this pathway so that we never achieve what we want. Remove and release that. Yes. Yeah, I remember when I was leaving university, high school, sorry. I applied to be a hairdresser. I wanted to be a cosmetologist, and also because I loved makeup and the special effects it achieved and everything like that. And a bit, and I applied to go to UMB for a business degree. And so, and it's like the backlash of choosing two other professions. And I was extremely miserable because I didn't get to do what I wanted to do in university, and almost through my third year, I almost quit. But thankfully, I was able to get counseling and get some help, and I made it through. And it's like, I don't regret having the degree, but it's like I was seeing myself being projected into like receiving bookkeeping, like all these other professions that was just going to kill my spirit, kill what I wanted to do, take all the joy out of me. And so I tried to follow that path for a while, and I got extremely sick. And I just realized that I thought at the time, and I was younger, a lot younger, I could walk between the two worlds, that I could still do that and still achieve and accomplish what I want to do on the side. So remove and release every impact and distraction and judgment that has killed your joy, killed your, or has, it's almost not so much, because no matter what happens, we tend to survive. Like you keep walking forward, but it's also these doubts and these fears are with you at the same time. So remove and release that all. Any place that you have decided that you're not able to accomplish it, remove and release it. Yes. It's like all these old patterns that are set to sabotage you. And unfortunately, because they are told at certain ages, we believe them to be true. I believed, because of my weight and my size, and I had acne and my hair was quite frizzy at the time, I was told over and over again that no man would find me attractive. And that's pretty harsh. And I believed that for a long time. I believed it because I was told it over and over and over again. So remove and release anywheres that kind of behavior. I'm starting getting it's getting a little heavy, but we're trying to release it. Remove and release that kind of behavior that has groomed you to just give up on yourself. Don't believe that you can accomplish this. And I think this is the problems with like our self-worth and our self-esteem get battered by this, right? So remove and release that all, and remove and release any. And you may have come from a family of like people who expected you to accomplish certain things, but because it wasn't your passion and joy, you weren't able to. See, there's both sides of that coin, right? It's like you may have had every opportunity going, but there was so much pressure that you must make a high mark and accomplish so much that it was just like you're being choked out. Your spirit was being killed because you were expected to achieve this goal and do this. So remove that and release that as well. Yes. Remove and release all the blockages and all the conditions that have caused you to to judge yourself and to automatically pick something that may cause you to fail and not succeed, or may create a harder path for you to follow because this is what you expected. I touched on that a bit, and it's like in last week, and it's like, but there's still like, there's a deepness in there, and I'm trying to clear it. So I apologize that this is pretty heavy. Anywhere that you've been put down, that you've been like smothered by other people's judgments and opinions, remove and release that. Yes. starting to lift, is starting to, and remove and release any parts of yourself that are like, would be like an amazing contribution to you, but because they were not acceptable, um, or this part of you was not acceptable. Like some people say, oh, like they love to draw, but they think that there's only certain ways you can draw, but there's many different forms of it. The same with writing, the same with musical instruments. And so remove and release the traditions and the patterns of your ancestral and inherited lines that have decided and have activated that there's only one way for you to succeed. There's only one way for you to achieve. And if you pick the other paths, you will not succeed. But really, their path is not your path. You have a right to your own path. And maybe you'd rather go where the light's a lot brighter than the light's really dim. So remove and release that. Yes. There's like, I think I have come across, okay, so I used to like, there's people who read palms, there's people who do tea leaves, there's many forms of magic foretelling. And it's like your body is a miracle. This, and it's like, and it's like what they trying to, what I've come across so far is that a lot of times when something is said to us and it's not dealt with, because as children and young adults, we don't know how to counteract the negativity that is bestowed upon us by the people around us. And it's like you have so many, so it lays in your body. So let's remove and release all areas in our circuits and systems, and DNA, RNA, and cell memory, our organs, our fascia, our cell, our blood, our plasma, that have impacted, that this information has impacted and has been laying in there impacting us, that does not allow, it doesn't, because we can't see it, we can't hear it, we can feel it, that it acts as an anchor, as a brick wall, a blockage, a pothole, so that we never achieve, we never hit the pot of gold, we never sit with who we are and realize the gift and the wonder and amazement that we have. And we never see our worth. We never see our wonder. We never see how amazing we are, because there was always conditions with that. So some people think if we do this, they have to give up something else. But if that something else is something that has been very difficult for you, wouldn't it be wonderful to give it up and move into the light and move into our past and see how much changes? So remove and release. How come we've stopped ourselves and why we've allowed other people to stop us? Yes. Okay, so take a deep breath, hold, and then release. Take another deep breath, hold, and then release. We have so many patterns in us. Remove and release so many patterns and so many judgments and expectations from other people that when we walk towards, I call it like walk towards the light, which is our being, which is our joy, our happiness, and who we are, that it's almost like it gets so dark. Sometimes you feel like the walls are closing in on you. And why is it such a struggle? Why even bother moving towards that the light, the spark, your being, because it creates so much stress and anxiety around you. So let's remove and release all the contracts, bonds, oaths, and promises that we have with the people around us that have been with us in past lifetimes. That maybe that this is another aspect of why they're with us, is that they are holding, and sometimes it's never intentional. They're not intentionally blocking us, but they've been given so much power that it feels like it's intentional, and it feels like they do these things to us that cause us suffering and stop us in our tracks. So remove and release the power that we have given other people, and the power that they still hold, because this is the agreement that we had with them from other lifetimes. Yes. And remove and release. I know I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's just to have some music, sound healing stuff, but it's been the energies have been really intense lately. So this is why this is so intense. Remove and release the aspects of ourselves that have been taught to not allow us to shine, and why we don't celebrate our shine, why we don't celebrate our being, our oneness, our uniqueness, our specialness, our gifts and abilities. Yes. There was one time I had a message for someone, and it's quite interesting that they wanted me to tell somebody something, and I had a discussion with the spirits, the guides, your guardians, the angels, and any aspect of energy. And I was like, I'm not going to walk up to them and tell them this. And so it's like, so I asked that they get the information to them in a different way. And it worked out really well. And it's like sometimes, like when we're very gifted, because some of you, the reason why I'm talking about this is some of you, it's going to open you up. Like there's so many dimensions and aspects to being able to see, being able to hear, and being able to feel, and all the other wonderful, amazing gifts, the smell, the taste, just hearing conversations. Like there's so many different aspects of gifts and abilities that it would take a while to name them all, but I don't want to miss out on any of them. I just want to say there's many of them. There's many different talents. Like I know someone who uses candle magic to clear stuff. There's like incense, there's colors, there's flowers, flower magic. Like it's endless what's possible. And isn't it wonderful in the time, I think Earth Day is coming, but in a time that we have the ability to use all the gifts and wonderful abundance of the earth to create more joy, more happiness, and more love. And it's like so let's remove and release all the places that we have turned off and dampened down with connection to the earth, connection to ourselves, and all the gifts and wonders the earth has to offer, and how all the living beings, all their gifts and amazement and wonder have to offer. And that's another one. Plant therapy is amazing. All the gifts and abilities that we have and the senses that we have, but they have been turned down or turned off or disconnected from us because of the beliefs that we had carried, and that we are unique, we are special. There's so many different avenues and structures and views of ourselves that we somehow have been forced into this this one-way system. So remove and release that all times a godzillion. Yes. And remove and release the aspects of ourselves that does not allow us to celebrate the wonderful, amazing parts of us that are here with us now. Have you ever noticed some people have really talent for words, for math, for like writing? There's like, it's really interesting. I had met in my travels a wonderful lady that does ancient symbols, paintings. Like there's so many unique and special gifts that we have that we are not even aware of. But how about we remove and release the barriers that have cut this off from us? And how come that we have to also remove and release that we carry, like it's almost like we have to carry these old patterns with us no matter where we go, but we don't. So let's remove and release anything that does not allow us to achieve our goals, to see who we are, and to celebrate who we are. Yes. Okay, then take another deep breath. Hold, and then release. So I'm going to ask the Creator to gather up all the 4 R's and incoherent energy and send it to the universal light. And that everything that we've released today may be released in a gentle and soft way to allow more power, to allow you to celebrate and see the being and the wonder you are. Send it to God's light. Transferred in the highest and best good. Yes. Just take a deep breath, hold, and then release. I want to thank you for joining me this week, and hopefully this will help with some of the releasing that is going on at this time. And it's really wonderful. Like we feed the birds here, and it's so nice to hear them. It's funny. There's a dove in particular that sits outside my window, and anyways, so at 5:30 she decides to start her day, and it's like, it's just amazing. And then you see them, like last night before it got dark, they were all singing in the trees, the sounds of them. It's such a joyful experience. And it's like sometimes we forget, like there's like these people are not like if you look at the animals, the birds are in the, and it's like, yes, they do have a lot of predators, um, but they also still enjoy life. They still sing. They still do their thing, and it's like, so no matter what affects them, they still move forward. Every day they get up, they do, and it's like, that's the beauty of that we need to understand as well, is to keep moving forward and to keep to not allow the other stuff to weigh us down and cause us to get distracted by it, so that we get veered off the path instead of moving towards. Because you would imagine, like I had talked about this before, that if we all allow our light to shine, what a wonderful place would be. And it's not, if you look at nature, there's still issues, but not at the level of doom and gloom that we are facing now. So remove and release how we've allowed the doom and gloom of other people to like, we've relinquished our power, we've dimmed our light, we have not allowed them to come in. Like, we've not allowed ourselves to override the doom and gloom of the world. So remove and release why we've decided that's more important than shining our light, accepting the being we are, and accepting the wonderful, amazing person we are. Yes. Thank you very much. I'm going to take a deep breath, hold, and then release. Have a wonderful and amazing day. Enjoy.